Hello and welcome to today's TechBuzz PD video. My name is Michael Callahan and I'm one of the K-12 digital learning specialists. Today we're going to be talking about Chromebook keyboard shortcuts and some tips you can use on your devices. So let's get started. All right, so one of the first things I want to talk about is how to access a list of keyboard shortcuts. You can see in front of you, I have a list here available that is made by or was made by Google's support group. So it has a list of a variety of different keyboard shortcuts, everything from paging and web browsers to system and display settings. But how do we get here? Well, a simple Google search of Chromebook keyboard shortcuts will get you this window within the first two search results, if I remember correctly. However, there's an alternate way to get here from our devices. If we hold the Control, Alt, and the question mark symbol, it brings up a keyboard overlay of all the keys on our keyboard and kind of what they do as we interact with them. For example, if I were to hold the Control key, you can see it's highlighted in blue here, but it also shows you if I were to select another key, what that does. So if I wanted to print something, I could hold the Control and then P option to print here. Same thing goes for the Alt key. If I were to hold the Alt key down, you can see what it does. So I can minimize and maximize my screens up here. I can show the Chrome menu if I were to hold the Alt key and E. And so what if I hold the two together? Again, there are additional options if both keys are being pressed. So it's a really nice way to display some keyboard shortcuts. However, if you just want to see a nice list, we can click on Learn More here. And this brings up a page about your keyboard and some of the options available. But if we go all the way to the bottom, we can select keyboard shortcuts, and we are back to this support page that we were on before. So, what if I wanted to capture a screenshot or take a screenshot? So you can see down here, take a screenshot is Control, and then this key right here, which is the Windows overlay key. It's right in the center of our keyboard at the very top. So if we were to hit that button, or those buttons together, we are getting a screenshot of our desktop area. And it's everything that our desktop sees. So if you want something that's a partial screenshot, we can just adapt it to Control-Shift and that key again. Control-Shift, overview button. And you can see our cursor now has become a crosshair, and our screen has gone dim, so I can select just a specific portion of the page and capture it in a screenshot. Again, full screenshot is Control overlay button. A partial is Control-Shift overlay button. So now that we have those screenshots, where do I find them on my Chromebook? Well, in our district, anything that we download to a Chromebook device gets saved to your Google Drive. So you can access it on another computer via Google Drive, or we can go in right here and access it on this computer. Now, there are two ways to do that. The first is by the search key, which is in the place of the caps lock key on this keyboard. And so it looks like a little magnifying glass. If I click it, you get this window. And as you can see, my files options are here. But if not, I can type in files, and there I am right there. Alternatively, I can click down here and show you all of the apps and options I have available. And again, files right there. And I am bringing up my files. So it automatically defaults to downloads, but we can select our Google Drive. And if I scroll down slightly, I can see those screenshots that I've been taking. So that's how you access your Google Drive files on a Chromebook. So what else is there to talk about? Well, there's the obvious Control-C and Control-V for copying, Control-C, and for pasting, Control-V. That works on a wide variety of devices and keyboards, so that shouldn't be a surprise to any of you. If we want to turn caps lock on, we can just hold down the Alt key and the search key together, and that turns on caps lock, and we can actually see at the bottom right, a new symbol appears when we do that. The last thing I wanted to talk about before we get into our keyboard layout is how to fix a screen rotation. So occasionally students might find it funny to rotate theirs or their peers' screens, and they might not share with you how they did that. So a really quick way to fix that is with Control, Shift, and then the rotation symbol. And you can see it rotates the screen. So a student might flip their screen upside down, raise their hand, ask you what happened, even by mistake or another way, but we can just flip it back over by holding the Control, Shift, and then the rotation button at the top. And then once again, we're back to where we started. On some devices, you might run into the keyboard itself has been changed from US English to an international or a different language. The way we change that back is really simple. We go into our settings here by clicking on our icon at the bottom right, clicking on settings. We come up to our settings menu, and then we go down to advanced, and then languages and input. And you can see the language here. And if we wanted to change it, add a language, change a language, you can do that here as well. Same with the input method, US keyboard, and such as well. So if you need to change from an international keyboard to a US keyboard, you can do that in these settings as well. That can also be found before a student or yourself logs in. At the bottom right down here, it'll tell you US for US keyboard or INT for international. So you can check that at the bottom right and just make those adjustments there. Well, I hope you enjoyed this TechBuzz PD video on Chromebook keyboard shortcuts and tricks, and I hope you tune in for another video in the future and potential PD session regarding Chromebook devices, tips and tricks. Have a great day and take care.